Hello friends, welcome back. Thanks for joining me on this beautiful sunshiny Tuesday. So the weather is absolutely glorious and that has put me in the mood for some spring flowers. I pulled out my spring market collection from Cartabella and decided to dig into the scraps. I'm going to use some dies from Gina Designs to create these stitched edge squares and then pull them all together and create a background pattern with them, a bit like a quilt pattern, and then layer on some beautiful embellishments. So stick with me and we'll make this card together. Okay, here's my dies for this project. They're both from Gina Designs. The first one is a stitched nested square. The second one is a frilly lace nested circle, and I'm going to use the middle size for my card today. I also have the Spring Market collection from Echo Park, and for my project I'm going to use a little of both the 12 by 12 paper pack, the 6 by 6 paper pad, and then I'm using an image from the sticker sheet. I've picked up the chipboard set as well, and I've been using these for quite a few projects, and that's left me with a fair bit of scraps. And so the concept for this card is that you can use a die to cut shapes from your scraps and create your own background. So we're going to do that today. Here's all of my squares cut, and this die has a double stitched edge. That's going to be very nice to get like a patchwork quilted effect. So what I did was I laid them all out and I shuffled them around until I got a pattern that I liked. That took a fair bit of time to get an even distribution of the shades and tones and the scale of these patterns, but once I had that in the position that I thought would work, I went ahead and I took a picture of that on my phone so when I work along I won't get them out of sequence. And then I put double-sided adhesive tape on the back of each of them. I'm going to attach them first to a piece of extra thick sturdy cardstock. I measured these out, and for this particular size it was the second from the smallest, and that gave me a 4¼ by 5¾ inch portion when they're all laid out with all of the sides touching. Now you can create a different arrangement if you like to put them on an angle. You might be able to get kind of a diagonal sort of effect, but when you do that you're going to have to remove a portion of the edge to get it to fit into that shape, and then you're going to lose your stitching. So if that is something that doesn't bother you, then you have a lot more flexibility to move your pieces around and get a unique layout for your project. I wanted to keep them all confined because I really liked those stitched details. So it did measure out to be the size of that cardstock. And so I'm going to attach them to the cardstock and then add it to solid cardstock as a border. I've taken all of the tape off of my pieces. I flipped them over and I lined them up in the order that I want to adhere them to the cardstock. So all I have to do is flip over the piece and then keep working along, and I'm going to start in this left hand corner because it's easier for me to see down here and I can keep things lined up much straighter and evenly. So let's start in the corner, and I will say that today is just the most glorious day. We had a few days that were very hot and humid, but that seems to have broken now, and we're getting beautiful sunshine without all of the heat and humidity. So that has been great. I went out and cleaned out our camper. We have reservations for 2 weeks. We've already had 2 sets of reservations be canceled because of the lockdown, but I am cautiously optimistic that we're gonna be able to go and spend some time at the lake. So I took everything that was in the camper out of the cabinets and I washed them all down inside and out. I was so shocked really to see the amount of dust that accumulates over the course of winter, which, you know, we live on a dirt road, so I do expect some, but it was quite a job. And then I brought all of our kitchenwares in and washed those and brought the bedding out. So I think that will make it much more fun and less stress to take our camper out for the first time for the season, hoping our good weather will last. So let me know in the comments what the weather is in your area. I'm curious to know if you get the horrible humidity like we do here in Michigan. I always say there's just two choices. You get cold or humid. And so this has just been a break from that this week, and it's been very nice to have the windows open and get fresh air. Okay, so I've got my pattern all set. I was thinking as well it would be interesting to do more color blocking. If you had a specific color and you did it in areas, you could create a more graphic design. I was going for more of an all over, fairly random sort of collection here, and mostly I was just hoping to look at a patchwork, but you could use rows if you liked that, or you could use just a few to make a like a focal point. You could also raise up alternately the rows of blocks or individual blocks, and that would also add a little bit of texture. So that would be another way to stretch this idea for using your scraps into making your own pattern backgrounds. So, okay, I picked this beautiful light gray cardstock as all the borders for this card. I popped this portion up on foam so that I could build a little dimension, and this is just going right in the center. And I will take off this adhesive. Here's my card base. I put the pattern paper on the inside like I do to finish it off, and I'm gonna begin putting on my layers. So this first pattern did come from the 12 by 12 sheets, and it's just meant to be a background for the next layer, which is our panel of patchwork, and I'm putting that up on that spacer to build dimension. It's going right in the center. For the smaller blocks, I would recommend using the 6x6 paper pad just to get a more condensed pattern on the paper, so when you cut it small you don't lose what the pattern is about. And that way you can get through more of your smaller scraps as well. Here's my doily, and I'm gonna put that kind of right in the center. And now you can see how I have a fairly even distribution of those patterns. So there were 4 different pattern papers to create this collection of 12 black. And here is my focal image. This was from the sticker sheet from the collection. I put it on heavy cardstock and cut it out and put it on some double-sided foam adhesive tape so that I could pop that up, place that right in the center. I've got a small floral arrangement created with some Little Birdie craft flowers and some from Petaloo. There are a couple loopy twine bows and die cut foliage. I'm gonna put this arrangement here. Here's the bow. I'm gonna tuck that pretty well underneath so that it fills in that arrangement and anchors the corner. That beautiful green ribbon is from Really Reasonable Ribbon. Beautiful check, and it matches perfectly. I've got a second bow here, and this is just topped with another loopy twine bow and then a vintage button that can just go right here, and that helps to balance that larger arrangement. Just putting that right up to the edge of that sticker. I've brought down some sequins as well. These are just the Simon Says Stamp Assorted Moonshine. I like this collection because it has different sizes, and that helps to bring a little bit of interest to your arrangement. So let's pull a couple of them out here and have a look at how we can attach them. So how about one large and one small for each corner? Maybe 2 small ones on the bottom, and that will balance that out. That's pretty good. I'm gonna use my Tombow liquid adhesive to attach those. Sometimes you might find that they're a little bit tacky even after it dries. You can easily just pounce on your anti-static brush and a little bit of that talc will set into the tackiness of the glue, and it will be just perfect. So let's do the bottom row as well. If you're interested in checking out those dies from Gina Marie Designs, I will leave a link in the description, as well as for Really Reasonable Ribbon if you want to see that trim. There are also links in that description for our social media sites. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, our blog, and our Etsy shop. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you'll be alerted each time we add new content. As always, I'm wishing you a happy and productive day, and I thank you so much for watching. Bye!